my spidey sense says he's played his last snap for the Houston Texans. I'm telling you. And that the Texans are just these passing that they don't play the Jets off the Dolphins off of the Panthers, just naming the three teams as we're sitting here on the first Thursday of March, right before the week before all the cuts take place, before the new league year begins, like rubber's meeting road and tapes are being watched. All 32 teams are watching all 22s of college quarterbacks right now, and there's a lot happening, and teams are going to fall in love with college quarterbacks. Zach Wilson, for instance, the number of times that I'm seeing on Twitter videos of from folks like Daniel Jeremiah and Dan Orlovsky and Bucky Brooks and everybody, and all the wow throws of Zach Wilson's making me, even as a Jet fan, think, okay, so maybe beating the Rams and losing out on Trevor Lawrence wasn't so bad after all, and I am saying it higher register because I don't believe it.
Yeah, let's slow down on
but
that.
You're seeing all of these videos, right, about Zach Wilson, and you're seeing about Trey Lance. And you're hearing about that, and maybe teams are falling head over heels in love with one of them. And maybe, somebody makes a move in free agency and they don't want a quarterback anymore. And suddenly, right now, the Texans can play off against two teams that have a ton of capital in draft capital, and also 23-year-old quarterbacks that can be flipped in their direction in the names of Darnold and Tua. And then you've got also Carolina, owned by, I don't want to call him an axe cap guy, but he's definitely one of those billions type of billionaires that's got that brio and the swagger. And you know what? David Tepper's going to, I got my new coach and Matt Rule. He's got a 19-year contract. And Joe Brady, who was the hottest assistant in all the land, with Joe Burrow throwing 60 touchdown passes for LSU. And Joe Brady was the passing game coordinating there. All right, why don't we go ahead and get Deshaun Watson? Let's blow it out. Fans are coming back in. Let's show everybody in the NFC South, with Tom Brady turning 44 and Drew Brees maybe just taking Todd Durkin's sled all the way to New Orleans, and maybe Matt Ryan he's long in the tooth. Let's go get Deshaun Watson. Let's win some NFC South championships for quite some time. Fannies in the seats. Let's go for it. Right now, that can happen. In a few days, few weeks, that might not happen. You might be sitting there in Houston saying, "Oh, don't listen to me. Don't listen to that guy. He's wearing a green zip-up sweater," which I am today.
Quarter zip, Rich. Quarter zip.
Thank
Quarter
you.
zip.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank
Don't
you.
get it twisted.
Okay. Well, why listen to him? It's lime, too, Jack Easterby, if that's what you're actually saying. I'm now having a conversation with myself and Jack Easterby as somebody talking about my sweater. At any point,
I would love it if Jack Easterby is watching right now.
Fine. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Why not listen to somebody like, say, Jalen Ramsey, who shares an agent with Deshaun Watson, who showed up on the podcast Huddle and Flow of my NFL Media Group colleagues, Jim Trotter and Steve Weich. And they asked Jalen, because this is what we're not getting, because Deshaun hasn't said anything yet. And again, that is the ultimate playing card he's got up his sleeve, back pocket, in his hand, however you want to use it as a card-playing phrase. It's sitting there. And one day, Deshaun can just mic up and talk straight to a camera for his Twitter or his Instagram, or sit down with somebody from the NFL media world. And again, I'm raising my hand. It's a lime quarter zip. And I am saying, we're right here. You want to talk? I'll be there. I'll be there. But right now, we just got to go straight to somebody who knows Deshaun Watson and shares an agent with him to find out what his mindset is on, say, March 4th, 2021. Roll tape.
Jalen, you know him well. They're going to test him at this point to see what his conviction is. How serious is he about wanting out? And they'll wait until he can start being fined to see if that money's going to affect him. You know him well. How serious do you think he is about wanting change and not coming in until he gets change?
Extremely serious. He's extremely serious. He, at the end of the day, Deshaun is a great man. Let me say that first and foremost. He's a great man. He's even now.
A servant
with
leader.
People, I'm telling you, like a servant leader. Even now, with people trying to crucify him and talk bad on his name, he's still out there doing things for the community in Houston. So he's a great man. He's a professional. He's going to do things that are still positive around the community. And probably help his teammates out because they're still his teammates now. Probably still be helping him out, doing things here and there. But I highly doubt he'll ever, suit up in a Texans uniform again. He's very serious. I would say he's very serious. This is legacy.
Yeah,
he should be serious.
All right. That was Jim Trotter questioning, and Jim's been around the block, man. So is Steve. They've been around the block. That's an outstanding way to phrase the question. They are going to test him. Again, this whole concept of he'll come around. This whole idea of he'll come around. The door A, for those who have been watching and listening to this show over the last couple of weeks as we've been referring to it, that's the door A. Door B is finding out what the Jets and the Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers really do want to give up and going down that road. And I say again, door B is the only door that they're going to end up walking through by the end of the day. But the door A of having him come around involves making him hold out. And I love that Jim phrased it to Jalen about what's his resolve, essentially, right? What is his resolve about having money taken away from him and not showing up and being... Because when that happens, Deshaun will also be cast, even though it won't come directly out of the mouth of a Texan representative, but he will be cast as somebody who is not a team player. He will be cast as a greedy individual. Even though this is not about money, he's already made his money, and he'll be losing money by sitting out. It'll still be out there that he's not a good teammate, not a good Texan. Won't come from the mouth of the Houston Texans. You won't hear it as a direct quote. Because you'll end up hearing that can only talk about the guys that are here. That's what David Culley will say as a coach. And Nick Caserio will just say, he's our quarterback. We want him. That's what he'll say. And Cal McNair, who's only spoken to members of the media by calling them up, specific members of the media calling them up on the day that J.J. Watt was released and basically saying that there's things that not everyone knows, and he's our guy. We want him to be our guy. That's all you're going to hear. And Easterby won't go near a microphone. So that's all you're going to hear, but it'll be cast that way. And so will Houston have the resolve itself? Because Deshaun's going to say something at some point. Door B is the only door. I'll come on the air and have egg on my face if Deshaun Watson says, you know what, after talking about it with David Culley, after talking about it with Cal McNair, after talking about it with whatsoever, yeah, I'm good. What are the odds of that happening, Chris, after all this?
0.
I think that's a good, accurate number.
0.0.
I really think that's it. I would be so stunned if it was any other way. By the end of the day, Jalen Ramsey, you could also say, well, they share an agent, and of course Jalen's going to back the play of his agent and another star client of his agent, and he's going to just be another mouthpiece, if you will. But I think he is accurately portraying a prideful, young athlete, or as they said, what did they say, a servant leader? It's the way they referred to him, as he is serving the community and also his team. Every passing day, something's happening. And I don't care if I sound like a broken record. This is the story of the NFL offseason 2021. Last year it was Brady. Where's he going to wind up and how those pieces going to land? This year it's this one. Because not only does Deshaun Watson affect what happens in the AFC South, wherever he goes, it affects that team. And then if it is the Jets, it affects the draft. If it is the Dolphins, it affects the draft. If it is the Carolina Panthers, it affects the draft. Those are 3 teams drafting top 10. And also, if it's Carolina Panthers, changes the way the Jets look at 2 and the Dolphins look at 3. If it's the Jets, it changes the way that the Dolphins look at 3 and Carolina looks at 8. And whoever gets Sam Darnold, if it isn't Houston. I mean, this is the biggest ripple in the NFL pond that there is this offseason. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.